Welcome to this dramatic therapy monologue. Listen to this meditation with an open mind and heart. In between each part, focus on your breath. Start now by inhaling deeply through your nose and slowly exhaling through your mouth. Then gently turn your attention to the natural rhythms of your breath. My name is Elaine. I want to start with an admission. I never learned to ride a bicycle. People assume I must have, because who lately has not? But the truth is, I was afraid of the fall. I was afraid of the way freedom felt, too sudden, too shaky under my skinny 11-year-old legs. So when my father offered to hold the seat, I always asked for training wheels instead. My siblings teased, of course. I laughed with them, but it was a hollow kind of laugh. Those training wheels kept me safe, yes, but they also made sure I never truly balanced. I watched the other kids take their hands off the handlebars, ride with no fear, but I held tight for years. You might wonder what this has to do with writing. I did too, for a long time. But now, whenever I stall at my blank page, when my fingers stutter and my ideas dry up, I can feel those old training wheels creaking at my heels. That is the thing about habits, about all these replacement tools we build around our weaknesses. They feel like salvation, but they cradle you until you never learn to walk or ride on your own. You rely on them, and they become steel bars around your best self. I have written code. I have solved calculus equations at 3 a.m, half asleep. I have spun through the labyrinth of math competitions and later, abstracts of peer-reviewed scientific journals. None of those things burn the way fiction does. None of them require you to crack open your chest and bleed something true into the world. Maybe you are wondering if writing is worth that deep ache, if anyone will thank you for it, if anyone will read what you spill on the page. I have wondered too. The answer is that most days you will not know. The thing is, your body and mind want to take shortcuts. They want comfort, ready answers, the road most traveled. They will leap to anything that lets them avoid the silence of unknowing, the echo when you ask yourself, is there any point at all to this? These days, you can pick up your phone and type a prompt into an AI. In seconds, a story appears. Dialogue you did not wring from your lungs. Descriptions no muscle memory inside you built. It feels so easy at first. It feels almost like magic. Breathe in again. Notice your body's weight, the tension stored deep within your back, your wrists, your chest. Let it soften as you listen. Listen, please. I have seen what happens when writers become eager for an outside mind to do their heavy lifting. It is like when my niece uses a calculator for her homework, not because she cannot add, but because she cannot bear waiting for her mind to find the answer. She types, she clicks, she smiles at the quickness of it, but her mind is never changed, never stretched. It grows slack and drowsy in the sun. When I was young, my mother would drive me everywhere. I never learned the shortcuts, the secret alleys behind the library, the way the light fell on Maple Street late in the day. 10 years later, I became the one at the wheel. But then there was the sat-nav. Calm voice, calculated routes, no space for intuition, for chance. Sometimes I think back and shiver at how easily a tool can cancel out a skill before you even learn it. Writing stories is harder than all of it, harder than any degree, any code, any map you might memorize. It demands not only that you know the world, but that you know yourself. Many times, I have stared at a script, a mess of crossed-out notes and desperate questions. I have felt the world ignore me. I have tasted that bitter plateau, where I wonder if I will ever write anything electric, anything that matters. The task is monstrous. It claws at your patience. The worst temptation comes for you in those weakest hours. One night, I opened the chat box. I thought, maybe it will tell me where to start. Maybe it will show me what I cannot find. But all it gave me was softness, a puddle of ideas I did not fight for, did not own. They slid out of me, untouched by joy or pain. I closed the tab. I closed it with shaking hands. Here comes my crisis, and I want you to feel it with me. I have always doubted myself, my voice, my worth, my weak knees on the playground when it was my turn to leap. I thought maybe if something else would shape the world for me, I could skip the danger, the humiliation of failing one more time. I hated myself sometimes for how slowly I learned. My friends wrote quicker, prettier, cleverer sentences. I wanted a shortcut. I wanted a miracle. AI was there, all easy, infinite, unbothered. I let it feed me answers, the way I let my mother drive me across a city I never tried to know. But inside, I mean deep inside, the part of me that hurts when I admit the truth, I knew I was letting myself sink. I was letting go of the only thing that could have ever saved me: persistence. I wanted to cover up the pain with more blankness. If you let a tool do the work never changes you. If you let AI write for you before you earn your skill, you will never know what it is to really write. You will never know the sharp, dark joy of making it to the end, sweating and shaking, and reading something that came from a place you did not know you had. Now, breathe in again, deep and slow. I am still learning to write. That learning will take the better part of a decade or more. Maybe it will never end, but I have come through a single, bitter truth. Original, emotional, meaningful fiction cannot be manufactured or synthesized or borrowed. You must dig it out of yourself, night after nameless night. No matter how badly you want relief, shortcuts will turn you aside from your own road. They will dull your sword, take the bright edge off your hunger, confuse you as to why you wanted this at all. Nobody told me this when I set out. Nobody said the price of learning to write was years of barely clearing the ground. But I am telling it to you now. If you have not written fiction for 8 or 10 years, and you use AI each time you stall or ache or worry, there will be a hollow place where your skills should be. You will not write like those you admire. It will not matter how much you study, how much you read, if your imagination always finds someone else to do its labor. Writing is so much harder than people say. It is also more beautiful than anything else I have known. My transformation is this. I am no longer ashamed of my slowness, my stumbling, my blank pages and torn-up drafts. I am proud that I show up again and again with nothing but my mind and my endless trouble. I want you to feel that pride too. I want you to know you are not alone, even when the silence feels total, even when the world seems indifferent. You are needed. Your stories are needed. The industry is desperate for them, for something that sounds like a heart, that does not repeat a machine's cold logic, for something human, ragged, alive. Let the tears come if they must. Let it rise, that ache in your chest, that longing to write something new and real. Hold your resistance close. Let it be your shield and your challenge. Do not give your work away, not to a tool that never questioned its own voice, that never carried a secret, that never once rode down the street on 2 shaking wheels. Breathe one last time. Inhale the possibility. Exhale the fear. Promise yourself this. You will keep writing for as long as it takes, even if your voice wavers, even if nobody listens at first. That is how you learn. That is how you become. Thank you for listening. I believe in you.